Good morning, Unity Church of Overland Park. Would you all like to stand up and sing a song? Yeah.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm grateful, so grateful. I trust in God. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender, I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. I surrender, I surrender. I trust in God. I surrender, I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. I surrender, I surrender. I trust in God.
Fred, it is so good to see you this morning and so wonderful to be back with all of you. I missed you last week. Florida was beautiful, the sun was wonderful, and the beach was amazing, but I missed you and so glad to be back with you this morning. Welcome to all of you in the room. Welcome to those of you who are tuning in via live stream on Facebook or YouTube. Please leave us a comment and let us know that you're here and where you're tuning in from. We are so delighted. We call you into this sacred space with us, and we know that in truth, let me catch my breath, in unity, we honor, we see, we behold the wholeness in each and every one. There is no thing that withholds your wholeness from you. There is no definition about you, no label on you that withholds that truth of you. And so I'm so grateful to be in this spiritual community that holds that truth for each and every one. Those of us here together and those everywhere. We are one. So let's begin by affirming one of our foundational affirmations together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And so we have another song to sing, I Know You.
Well, I know you.
Me?
And I know you. And I know a whole lot of you.
We know you too, girl.
I know you.
Oh, it is my great joy to
May
know
I?
you, and
May
you
I
better
join
get
you?
on up
All
here.
right.
It is, yeah, let's do that. It is my great joy to welcome home Reverend Eileen Stulak as our Associate Minister of Operations.
Yes.
And
it is good to be here. And
we've had a fun week.
we have.
And, you know, when I got back celebrating the Chiefs' win as I was and still wearing my game shoes, Eileen, she's shaking her head, but you know what? You were excited about that Chiefs' win, too.
I was rooting for the Chiefs last week.
All right. She's feeling Kansas City.
However, my first day on the platform, I have to be honest, I was primarily rooting for the Chiefs because they were playing the Browns, and if you beat them, it helps the Steelers. So thank you, the Chiefs.
So, as you can see, and we should share the news, we have been appointed as chaplains for the Steelers and the Chiefs.
We have.
Yeah, okay. It's self-appointments. And we invite you into this self-appointment with us.
Oh, that's going to be totally weighted on your side.
With us. Okay, so we're going to keep track of how powerful our prayers are, right? Yeah, there we go. So we're 1-0.
We're
1-0.
So are we.
And she's called me and texted me several times this week, making sure that we're going to be out in time for the Steelers game at noon, right? So, okay, so we're going to do that, but also I'm going to invite you, if you're willing and able to stand, if not, to please raise your aura as we welcome this sacred divine appointment. Reverend Eileen Stulak, Spirit has saw fit to bring you home, and we are so delighted. We are blessed already by your generous heart, by your faith-filled mind, and by all this spunk that you bring, all of your excitement that you are bringing to the table, and we welcome you home, and let's give her the unity blessing. Reverend Eileen, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ as you, and so it is, and so we are, so let's sing, I Know You.
I know you. You are the light of God. You are the joy. You are the love. You are me. I know you. You are the light of God. You are the joy. You are the love. You are me. You know me. I am the light of God. I am the joy. I am the love. I am you. You know me. I am the light of God. I am the joy, I am the love, I am you. We know this, we are the light of God. We are the joy, we are the love, we are one. We know this. We are the light of God. We are the joy. We are the love. We are one.
Thank you, Millie, for singing us in this morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Hi, Candace. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
There
Here
she
I am.
is.
One of my papers fell out.
We're all here. So great big thanks to so many people today. Let's see, who do we want to start with? Let's start with everybody back here. Thanks to Millie Edwards for being our soloist this morning. Welcome back. We've got Fred, we've got James, we've got Terry. This little band is here, rocking it for us. Thanks to Joan over there, keeping all of our PowerPoints going. Thanks, Joan. Okay, and then also thanks to Reverend Jacquie and thanks to Reverend Eileen for being here today. And Jacquie will be presenting her talk today, Then and Now. And also, I think we just need to say a quick thing. Everybody knows how grateful we are to be sitting here in person today, being out and about in the world. So I think most of us are still waking up every morning and just being filled with great gratitude for our ability to do that these days. And part of why we are doing that is because we're holding a consciousness of love and care and concern for one another. So we're paying attention to wearing our masks and also to the dots that we can put on our name tags. So green means hugging, and yellow means caution, maybe hugging, maybe handshakes. Red is a no thank you, not right now. I was just in contact a few minutes ago with somebody with a red, and there are people in her life that have really, really, really serious health care concerns, and so she's being extra cautious in an effort to support that person. So it's never personal, and so we all know that. So just extending the love. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Tiffany.
Take it away.
And we want to talk about Fall Faith. So Fall Faith 2021 kicks off with Soloist Millie Edwards and the UCOP band. All right. We will spend 8 weeks with the book The Naked Now by Richard Rohr, and join a small group and enrich Sunday celebrations and deepen relationships with our beloved community. Reverends Jacquie and Eileen invite you to join in person or online for this series. And you can purchase a book starting today at the table in the cafe, just outside the sanctuary. Will that be back there, I guess?
Yeah, there's a table
Pam
all
will
set
be
up.
there. Great. Pam will be there to assist you. Books are $12. They can be purchased with cash, check, or credit card. And we encourage everybody to get a copy. Supplies run out, we'll purchase more. You can also get the book on your own on Amazon.com or the Audible on audible.com.
And so, small groups, of course, are part of our annual Fall Faith celebration. And so, I hope, really, really hope, that everybody in this room is considering joining a small group. So it's really easy to do, and if you haven't done it already, you go to our website, ucop.org, and you'll find a link for Fall Faith. If you click into that link, you'll see signups. We have 5 small groups going this year. The facilitators are there's at least one during the day. Most of them are in the evening. Some of them are on Zoom. Some of them will be in person, and some of them, the group will get to decide where they're meeting and how they're meeting. So there's a whole lot of flexibility. So please consider doing that. It's a great way to connect with everybody in this community. It's a great way to connect with Jacquie, because Jacquie has a habit in the past year or so of when we have small groups, she tries to visit each group at least once, just to say hi and kind of check in, and as a way to get to know everybody a little bit better. And so you sign up for that, and then those groups will start not this coming week, but the week after. So Fall Faith kickoff is September 26th, so every group starts that following week.
All right. And now, let's join together in speaking the joint vision statement of the Unity Movement. Together, a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening.
Okay. And I will be reading your daily word today. Today's word is free. Living from my divine nature frees me. Sometimes I feel limited when I don't think I have enough time, money, space, education, or experience. These thoughts can occupy so much space in my mind that I begin to think limitation is the truth of my life. The greater truth is that I am free and unlimited in spirit. Alive in God, I am free to express all the love, wisdom, and strength of the divine as only I can. What joy and liberation it is to know that nothing can separate me from my true spiritual nature. If I believe any circumstance in my life or any of my past actions obstruct or delay my spiritual progress, I now release that belief. Embracing and living from the divine presence, the Christ within me, I claim freedom from all limitation. In him we live and move and have our being. Acts 17:28.
Let's center in this prayerful way into the knowing of that one presence, one power in the universe in which we live, move, and have our being, just as Spirit lives, moves, and has its being within us as us. We allow this truth to do its work in us as we bring to mind the world. Right now, there is so much unrest and so much pain and loss. And so we hold it in the container of our heart, knowing that this is a healing space. The peace within us is divine peace, and it flows from us into the world. The healing presence of Spirit is in us, and it flows from us to the world. The presence of God is in us, and so it flows from us into the world. And so we hold the container for every heart and soul in this world, known and unknown to us, claiming more God, more peace, more love, more healing, more truth. As we give thanks for this gift of giving of our hearts, of giving of our faith, of giving of our own knowing. As we give, we receive. As we give, we receive more God, more good. And in this lives our freedom. And so it is. Amen. We welcome those of you who are visiting for the first time, those of you who are visiting for the first time in a long time, those of you who are having their first day at UCOP. And if you don't know, there's a chaplain table at the back. Prayer is where we do our work, our spiritual work. And so you are able to request prayer from our prayer chaplains or put your name on a list and have a prayer chaplain call you once a month so that you may be prayed with. Sometimes they leave a voicemail for you. People like that because then they can play it over and over throughout the month until their next call.
Well, it's my honor this morning to lead us in our time of offering, a time that we share our financial resources and abundance with this ministry that we call our spiritual home. And I realize there are so many different ways in which one can give. You may have something with you today ready to place into the offering. You may go home later this afternoon and go online to make a gift to the ministry. You may already be set up for automatic giving that just happens every week, every month, whatever you choose. All these different practices, and yet there's one thing in common to all of them, and that is that whatever form, in whatever way, in whatever amount you choose to give, every single gift given from the heart has the power to transform lives. And I understand that that's what our ministry here is really all about, right? And another thing that we're all about is paying forward, sharing our gifts with others in the greater community who we want to see continue to thrive and nourish the good work that they do. And so I'm holding in my hands this morning the checks that will be sent out to these, one organization, one individual, this coming week. One is going to go to a long-time local nonprofit organization, the Della Lamb organization, who has done such great work with youth services and education, and especially with settling refugees. And their focus right now is really on helping to settle those refugees arriving in our area from Afghanistan. And so we bless their work. And also for his love and his support, especially over the last few months, we're also going to bless with our abundance Reverend David Mosier. And so as I hold these checks in my hands, you hold your gifts in your hands. Let's all hold whatever gift it is in our hearts and open ourselves to the presence of God, which is our source. And as we express as source, we do so by sharing together the words to our offertory blessing this morning. If you would join me. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am joy-filled and grateful, and so it is. Amen.
So we welcome back Millie Edwards, I Believe I Can Fly.
I used to think that I could not go on, and life was just another awful song. But now I know the meaning of true love. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. See, I was on the verge of breaking down. Sometimes the silence, it seems so loud. There are miracles in life I must achieve. But first, I know it starts inside of me. Oh, if I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. And I believe in you. If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, then I can do it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. I believe I can fly.
That doesn't convince you. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you for that. Joan, I'm going to ask you if you'll go back to that image with the birds flying, and let's just leave that up. Let's stay in that flow, in that belief, in that knowing that we can fly. I want to share with you, I already mentioned that I was in Florida last week. Our whole family went, and we spent a lot of time at the beach. And I'm going to tell them. Sometimes we talk about if I'm going to mention something from home, from the platform, and sometimes I just think of it on my way up, and I just go ahead and ask for forgiveness later. I'll make dinner tonight, babe. So we were sitting on the beach, Tammy and I, and out on the horizon, Tammy says, "There's a shark." And sure enough, there's a fin floating out there. Now, I'll just, for context, we were both in our early mid-40s, that's an age, right? Early mid-40s, and she's more mid than I am. Okay, we'll leave that. Whoa. Reel it in. Early mid-40s. And so what happens at that age is you have a little denial about the changes in your eyesight, right? So sure, and I'm thinking, it's not a shark out there. First of all, we wouldn't be able to see the fin of the shark swimming out there, but we watch long enough because we're both, it might be a shark. Sure enough, here comes a pelican diving down, splashes in, and comes up and looks like another shark fin. They were pelicans. There were no sharks. They were pelicans. Then and now. I think there was a time when we would have known immediately that it was a bird out there floating on the water and not, feared for our lives about the shark fin. But life changes. We change. Communities change. We are getting ready to kick off Fall Faith, which is a long-standing tradition at UCOP. When I started last year as senior minister, I came in asking the question, how can UCOP be UCOP, even in the midst of pandemic, in the midst of virtual church? What can we do that helps us feel like UCOP? Because if you remember back then, the pandemic was about 6 months in, and we were all feeling a little robbed of life as we knew it. We were all feeling grief. We were all wondering how long this was going to drag out. Surely it'll be over by Christmas. So I thought, if we could be UCOP, if we could do the things that make us feel like UCOP, even in the midst of this pandemic, then we will be comforted, that we will find some morsel of normalcy, even if it looks completely different than it used to look. And so the immediate answer was Fall Faith. Well, let's do Fall Faith. And the staff rallied, the board rallied, and we got it together, and about 65 of you joined virtual small groups. And we had ourselves some Fall Faith, and we're going to do it again. Now, some groups this year might opt to continue to meet virtually on Zoom. Some groups might meet here in a room. Some groups might meet in the facilitator's home. We have some options this year around us. How can UCOP feel like UCOP? And what we know as we move forward, this thing we call time, and I'm not going to get into time as a construct. It's not real. We're just making it up as we go along. We'll just leave that to the side right now. I mean, we all keep track of time. We all have our calendars. We all have our to-do list, and we all know what time either the Steelers or Chiefs games start today. Okay, so in a way, time is very real. And yet, who we are as we move through this thing we call time changes moment by moment. Sometimes in a holy instant, everything can be changed. And we've talked about it from the platform that sometimes that change can't be seen. Sometimes if I look at you, there is nothing different about you, but for you in that moment, everything has changed. Everything is different. So we don't know for each other what changes we are enduring. And I use the word enduring because sometimes change is uncomfortable. Sometimes it feels like something we're going through. And as a community, we've been through a lot of change since well before I got here. for many years, we've been in a state of change. Now, yes, this is always going to be the case, I hope, because if we are doing our spiritual work, if we are evolving, if we are growing into the next iteration of who we are individually, in our small groups, and collectively, we will always be in a state of change. But that change feels like we invited it. That change feels like, yeah, we can do that because I'm here for that. I want to grow. I want to fly. I have some aspirations. I have some goals in my life, and I'm going to use these spiritual teachings to help me achieve that. That change is invited, and I welcome it. Then there are other kinds of changes. Changes that we don't invite. Changes that seem to happen to us. Changes that we add to a list of why this thing always happens to me. Changes that we add to a list of here we go again. So who are we in the midst of whatever kind of change we experience? That's our spiritual question. Who are we, and where is Spirit in the midst of it? Because we know Spirit is in the midst of it. But is that in our consciousness? Is it in our awareness? Is it in our knowing? Or is it somewhere over there to the side, outside of our pain and away from our pain, and we're just going to go ahead and suffer through it? For me, sometimes it's both. Sometimes I feel so much pain that I don't have a place of God in my awareness. Sure, if you ask me in that moment, yes. But in my feeling space, it's hard to feel. It's hard to see. When you feel like the rug has been pulled out from under you, it begins to feel like just another spiritual platitude to say God is here in the midst of this. You know what? Don't give me that right now. You ever feel that? You don't want to hear that right now. That is not helpful information. I'm in my feelings, and I want to feel this. And I'm mad, or I'm sad, or I'm frustrated, or I'm betrayed, or I'm hopeless, or I'm scared. Don't tell me God is here, because the God that I want wouldn't allow this to happen to me. The God that I want would take this cup from me, would take these feelings from me, and I would be in that bliss. I would be the laughing Buddha. Sign me up for that God. That's the God we have, by the way. It is the God we have. But we also get this extraordinary experience of being human. We have this extraordinary experience of walking the face of this planet with other humans, other iterations of that very same Spirit. And look at us. So very different. Different ideas about what that God is, different ideas about what this human experience is, different paths. Different, each of us, today than we were yesterday, or last year, or 8 years ago. So we welcome Reverend Eileen back. This is not the same lady that left here 8 or 9 years ago. Thank God, she says. Yeah, don't we all think that? Thank God, I don't know what I used to do. Like, you get Facebook memories. Your Facebook gives you a memory from like 10 years ago, and you're like, whoa, get that off. Thanks, Facebook, but no thanks. We are not the same community that she left. Yet there's a symbol, and we've had this conversation, yet something else I didn't clear that I'll be talking about from the platform, but okay. We've had this conversation just a number of times. The very first phone call, when I reached out to Eileen about this position, was, I think you will be a symbol of what was good in the past of UCOP, that which we long for, that which we miss, So many of you have been here for many, many years. And Reverend Eileen is like a physical symbol of what was good, and how comforting that could be after so many years of so many different changes to have something familiar. And she is so much more than that. She is poised to help shape the future of this community. Eileen is not an item in a museum, frozen in time. Didn't pull her out of a time capsule. She's been living her life, right? She's been living her life very well, by the way. In a ministry, she's been growing, she's been moving, she's been shaken. And her return will be part of yet more change here. And it's so interesting because that living question that I held just a year ago when I started, how can UCOP be UCOP, was about not how can we do things the way we used to do them, or how can we continue to do things the way we've always done them. But it was a search for comfort. What can be familiar? In this pandemic time when we've lost so much of what is familiar, and so fall faith. And then do you remember we had Advent readers? We recorded them. They would come in during the week and we'd play it on Sundays because that is a long-standing UCOP tradition. We had the band for Christmas Eve. Burning Bowl, White Stone. We stayed in the flow of how can we still be who we are in the midst of change, and yet it was all different. With a different senior minister, with a different space. It was a virtual space. And then when we gathered in a physical space, it was this space, another change, a new space. And if we had lined up here all of the senior ministers of UCOP from the beginning of time, we would all look very different. We would all have very different energies. One of us would look even a little extra different. I mean, come on. I'm a queer woman of color standing in this pulpit. It's a first. I think that was a very intentional act by the search team, the board. And we can know that by the slate of candidates. Change. Then and now. And so when we move forward through this thing we call time, this collective agreement that we have about time, we bring forward what is good, that which has served us well. And we allow it to be different and to be new. So as we bring Eileen into the fold, we allow her to be new and different. She is not here to resurrect anything that was before. I'm sure there are a lot of things she was like, please don't ask me to do that. We let that go. That got dropped. Leave it dropped. Let's not pick that up. There may be other things that she wants to bring forward, but she's also been working, doing the work of being a senior minister at Unity of Traverse City for a number of years, 8 years. She's got brand new ideas. And now she's here, and we're going to be in the flow together as staff, and we're going to have even more ideas. And we've got this board that's vibrant, creative, on fire. We've got all of you who we all have been changed by this year. We have all been pushed to our growing edges this year. How do we do community? How do we stay connected to our families? How do we keep ourselves healthy? How do we make choices in the face of seeming conflicting information about what it means to be healthy and safe? We have all been pushed to the max. And so what I would like to invite us into is a space of comfort, a space where we can be there for each other as a comforting presence. Yeah, me too. This has been hard for me too. We are in this together, and we are here now, in the now, changed by an unknown set of factors. And how can we be in community? And how, what we know about UCOP, love in action, how can we be the presence of love in action for one another now in this iteration of each of us, and still allow space for us to grow, to be renewed, to be different, to be changed, and familiar. And so check in with yourself. How do you respond to change? Some people get very excited by it. Some people are terrified. And people, we tend to structure our lives around whatever sort of polarity we are in that. And some people are indifferent. Like, I'm here. This is me. I can take whatever comes my way and be with it. Just check in with yourself and feel that in your own personal life. How are you with change? And whatever, there's no right or wrong, whatever way you are with change is a gift that you bring forward to the world, to your family, to your friends, to your workspace, to this community. It's a gift. Because with whatever your patterns are, whatever your habits, your way of being is, you bring forward wisdom from that perspective. You bring forward ideas from that perspective. Perhaps you bring caution. Let's not run down that trail until we think a few things through. Perhaps you bring wild abandon. Let's go, we'll figure it out on the way. Perhaps you bring wisdom. I remember I've been on this path before and this is what I learned, so hey, what about this, that, or the other? Who are you and what gift do you bring? We don't diminish our gifts. This is your way to fly, your way to soar. So when you hear the lyrics, I believe I can fly, you don't fly the same way that pelican is diving down and then come up looking like a shark. You get to fly your style. And the community needs it. The world needs you. You as your unique, unrepeatable iteration of the one divine presence in the world needs you to be you. You at your very best. And whatever that looks like in this moment. So we're going to start 8 weeks next week of The Naked Now by Richard Rohr. And I want to share with you one of the quotes from that book. You normally have to let go of the old and go through a stage of unknowing or confusion before you can move to another level of awareness or new capacity. Does that sound familiar to you? Or does that feel familiar? You normally have to let go of the old and go through a stage of unknowing or confusion before you can move to another level of awareness or new capacity. And that is the gift. When we go through our stage of unknown, of letting go, perhaps chaos, perhaps fear, and all the feelings that come with it, to step into a new level of awareness and a new capacity. Oh my. So let's turn to Scripture. Above all, clothe yourselves with love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in the body. Clothe yourselves with love. Now, at first blush, that feels like, well, why? Love is on the outside. That seems kind of shallow. Love should be from the inside. But what is it about our clothing that makes it internal? It's identity. What we wear says so much about who we are or how we are. It perhaps can identify a culture, a religion, maybe the region in which we live, our own personal flair. So when we adorn ourselves with love, we clothe ourselves with love, it's all about the flair that we bring from the internal, from inside. What does it mean to be love in action? It means something very different for this community than any other that would claim that. And it means something individually for each of you, different than it means for the collective, but we contribute to that collective flavor, that collective flair. Clothe yourselves in love. Allow the peace of Christ to rule your hearts. This is our call to action. And in this knowing and in this truth, truly, we can claim that we believe, we can fly, we can soar. The miracle, as the lyrics go, the miracle begins in you. Be so very blessed.
If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. I can fly. I can fly. I can fly.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. We're going to take a few minutes to pull on our expressions of love. Take a few minutes to feel that love of the Christ. To be able to feel it here, internally, within our whole being. Which will then be evident, expressed through the world. In the presence of the one, in the presence of the truth, all is healed, all is whole, all is well. All is well. In the presence of the one, in the presence of the truth, all is healed, all is whole, all is well. All is well.
So we take a deep breath and breathe into the moment. Soften your gaze or gently close your eyes and open the inner eye to the vast expanse of the universe, living, moving, and having its very being in you, as you. All is well. In this moment, all is well. If there is something in you that arises that feels unwell, or that contradicts what you think it means to say all is well, we simply notice. We notice that our feelings don't define us. Our feelings don't define our circumstance. There is no diagnosis that defines the truth of our wholeness. There is no outer circumstance that is the truth of who we are. So we allow the mind to relax. Relax its chattering of what about, what if. And allow the heart to open in the revelation of truth that in this moment all is well. All is God. All is good. This is the practice of arriving in this time and space, this place of knowing that we retrieve in moments of unrest, stress, worry. Each and every moment for us is designed by consciousness. It is a divine orchestration at work in our lives. And when we know this truth, we know then that there is a gift in whatever circumstance arises. There is a gift in everything. So we simply allow the gift to reveal itself. We simply allow the gift to reveal itself.
give thanks for the knowing that the gifts of God are ours. We give thanks for the knowing that the gifts of God are freely given. We give thanks for the knowing. In the presence of the one, in the presence of the truth, all is healed, all is whole, all is well. All is well. Sing along. In the presence of the one, in the presence of the truth, all is healed, all is whole, all is well, all is well. In the presence of the one, in the presence of the truth, all is healed, all is whole, all is well, all is well.
Bring it on, everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I'm through crying, and I'm through waiting, and I'm through hoping against all hope. No more longing for something gone that'll never return. I think I finally learned. So bring it on, everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, and I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before. Broken hearts and slamming doors. I'll be all right, yes I will, once more. Just as I did back then, I'm gonna rise again. Bring it on, everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Bring it on, everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Oh, I know, all I know, oh, I know it's gonna be everything new.
Oh my golly.
Goosebumps.
You know, I'm just going to say, because it's on my heart to say it, this community gets serenaded with that song. And I think a lot of us probably are feeling Molly's presence here, her love and her blessing. And we thank you for bringing the newness of that song in Millie style. So thank you for all of that. All righty. Great big thanks to a whole bunch of people here. Let's thank, first of all, little Miss Terry Sturgeon right down here, our ASL interpreter. Thank you for what you bring here. We want to thank, who else am I thanking here? Rick, thank you for what you're doing with sound. Who else am I thanking? My brain just went blank. Who am I thanking? The cameraman, Jim Crabtree. Who is that again?
Who's that guy?
Thank you, Jim. Thank you to Mike also. So for everybody who helps kind of put this big show on for everybody and makes it pleasurable, we thank you all for being here today. Oh yeah, we have name tags, so remember our mantra, take it off, tuck it in, drop it off. That's all you need to know.
All right. And now let's join together in our mission statement. Together. Unity Church of Overland Park transforms lives and empowers people to make a difference in the world. And we'll close out our service with the peace song and the prayer for protection. But first, let's welcome in our children.
We are walking as the light, as the light, as the light. We are walking as the light, as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God.
1, 2, 3. God is good.
All the time.
All the time.
God is good.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. So today we had our first lesson about having a Christ candle in our room and the Christ light, and how the light in me sees the light in you at all times, whether this candle is lit or not in our room, how it's everywhere at all times around us and in us. So And then afterwards, we played with crafts as we usually do, and these two are always so wonderful to have in class. So,
Okay,
All right.
thank you. All right, let's sing. If everybody wants to stand up, if you feel comfortable, hold hands. If not, that's okay too. All the energy is good.
Begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. When God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let this be the moment now. If every step I take, let this be my song now. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And join me for the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. Have a beloved week.